What is up, Spacenoids and Hooligans? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode, we are heading back to the 1-year war as we cover the manga, Mobile Suit Gundam, with Federation Hooligans. In this episode, we will learn about Yuji, who joins the Nemesis team designed to teach people to be the best pilots. So let's get into this. UC-0079. The 1-year war begins. After the death of Garmazabi, Zeon forces started waning. Eventually, EFF pushed Zeon back out into space, where the majority of the 1-year war will play out. However, while the end of the war takes place out in space, EFF is still working on getting the remaining Zeon forces off of Earth. One day, a man by the name of Yuji Alcana disappeared during battle. He suddenly returned, carrying a few comrades and an extremely damaged GM. Since that day, he has been given the name Zombie GM. Someone is looking over the file of First Lieutenant Yuji Alcana, champion boxer from Canada, stationed out in the reformed Vancouver base. He is an ace pilot that shot down 2 Zakus, 1 Goof, and 1 Dom. A commanding officer is giving this intel to a mysterious team looming over him. We cut to Yuji, who is currently enjoying a natto-flavored umaibo. This isn't the first time we talked about umaibos on this channel, but they are Japanese Cheeto sticks in various flavors. But this is interesting. Natto is fermented soybeans. Most Westerners hate this. It is honestly flavorless, but the disgust comes from the texture similar to mucus. My question is, if you turn natto into chittle, what does that taste like? It doesn't sound good, I'll tell you that. He specifically likes to eat umaibo with cola. Okay, what kind of protagonist are you introducing me to? This dude has a palate of a psychopath. He and his friends notice that a Medea's ship has landed on their base. One person notes that it is from the rumored ace unit called the Nemesis unit. Yuji talks shit to his crew saying he could take him out, no problem. A commanding officer grabs them and pulls them into a briefing. Here they learn that the Nemesis unit will be here to help improve the skills of this base. The commander hands over the mic to Lieutenant Ernst Panawa. She explains that supplies are low, so it is time to increase skill set to decrease the need for repairs. They have been given jurisdiction over training exercises. They are going to perform an aerial drop attack half a kilometer from the bunker via transport ship. She says the scramble order comes in 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7. She starts counting down. Everyone looks at each other. She gets the 3 and begins yelling in a typical drill team manner. They all scramble to their mobile suits. The team mobilizes in their GMs while the Nemesis team launches in the GM Striker. The RGM-79FP GM Striker is a variant of the RGM-79C GM Type C. It took the data from the Ground Gundam and the RX-78 Gundam and focused on close combat. This mobile suit was a direct response to Zeon's goof. It is equipped with a wearable reactive armor that is also used on the Desert GM. This is Choban armor, and I just learned that this armor was also created for Alex Gundam. It was also fitted with a high thrust backpack and improved leg thrusters. This mobile suit is equipped with 60mm Vulcans, 2 78 Type Beam Sabers, a twin beam spear that is the evolution of Grandpa's beam javelin, a 100mm machine gun, a spike shield, and a grapple shield. Nemesis will escort them during the training mission. They all take off in Medea's. Once they reach the drop point, one Nemesis member, Spartan, kicks a GM out of the cargo ship. They all begin dropping. One man is losing altitude quickly and hasn't opened his chute. He begins panicking. Yuji calms him down and tells him to open his eyes and focus. He helps him deploy. They touch down, but begin getting hit by enemy targets who took over the bunker. Yuji's ally is still struggling. Yuji orders him to get his ass going. They make a little progress, but ultimately fail the training exercise. They return to the base where Hawk Ryuzer judges their performance. Most of them fail. He calls Yuji forward and wonders why he saved his teammate. He tells him that dying while saving a teammate isn't a dog's death, as he puts it. He says that training should be used to judge the priorities at the scene. I don't really get that translation, but I assume it's more one's action in the moment. This upsets Hawk, and he begins to punch Yuji before Jean Dabibi stops him. Jean starts tearing into the company commander and Yuji. They move onto CQC training. Jean wants to engage with Yuji as he heard so much about the GM zombie. They switch mobile suits. Jean uses the GM and Yuji uses the GM Striker. They add balloons to their GMs and use giant bokens. They have to pop their opponent's balloons. Jean begins attacking, destroying Yuji's balloons. He has one left. He doesn't give up hope. Yuji starts picking up speed and taking out Jean's balloons. The two units trip on one another and they begin arguing. Hawk goes on a rant about having big balls. Okay. Yuji is summoned by Major Saki Desao. He thinks that he is going to be in trouble, but effective immediately, he is now a part of the Nemesis team. Major Desao tells him that he is chosen because of his close combat skills are a notch above the rest. He declines the offer and tells the Major that he grew up in Vancouver. Remember, part of the colony during Operation British did break off and hit North America, specifically Canada. He enlisted to specifically help out Vancouver base. The Major tells him this is an order, but they leave tomorrow, so he gives him the day to think it over. Yuji's commanding officer talks to him. He tells him that he enlisted at a base in Turkey. He then went to Jaburo for a little bit and then went to Hokkaido, India. Now he is commanding officer in Vancouver. He tells Yuji that he is young and he should go explore the world. He decides to report in with the Nemesis group. Jean doesn't want him on the team, but they need someone that can react as fast as possible to the enemy in front of them. Yuji comes in and asks if there is any kind of trial session or something. The team hears this and rolls with it, so they start asking for massages, to clean the toilet, run errands. Everyone calls him an idiot, and I don't blame him. I mean, who the hell buys Mam Cola? Get that off-brand shit out of here, Mam Cola. While some go out to sortie, Yuji finally gets some rest. He says that he will never join these hooligans. Oh, he said the thing. He goes to the briefing late to find that his old team has already sortied. He wants to go out and help them, but he is now a Nemesis member, so they deny him permission. Jean says that he never thought that the GM zombie would be such a big baby. The Major chimes in and says that they can't help directly with the squad, but they do have a mission to test the GM strikers on the battlefield, and now is a good time to do so. Yuji still isn't used to the GM striker. The Major gives everyone codenames. Jean's gun cannon will be codenamed Ape. We talked about this unit when talking about Rise from the Ashes, but to briefly sum up, the RX-77D gun cannon mass production type was originally supposed to be a mass-produced version of the gun cannon, but it was easier and more efficient to adapt to the RGM line. It essentially turned into a gun cannon light. Ernest Panawa, who I will call Eddie from now on, is in the Bloodhound and will go by Cockroach. Yuji is Tough Dog. The Major says that his codename is the President and his orders are absolute. They all launch. They drop down and engage in battle. Izaku runs up behind them. They run into Commander Kirk and Yuji's old crew. Eddie begins using the sonar capabilities of the Bloodhound. For more on how the Bloodhound or the hover truck works, go watch our coverage of 8th MS Team. Eddie tells the others that 3 bodies are moving towards them. One is a sniper type that shot down the Medea. They are trying to steal supplies. Tough Dog goes in to see the Medea cargo while Ape gives them cover. They go in to find an Augusta Labs lieutenant. They warn them of the sniper off in the distance. The hooligans Medea gets shot. Ape moves in and attacks Izaku 2 using what looks like a Izaku cannon 100mm cannon or something found on the battlefield. Ape gloats, but the president tells him that the Medea was attacked by a beam attack and whatever Ape took down was using shell weapons. Another beam comes out in the distance and hits Jean right in the arm. It happens to be Zaku 1 sniper. Also, props to the Zaku 1 sniper that stuck around all the way to UC-0096. The sniper is using Jean as bait. If anyone goes out to help him, the sniper will pick them off. Of course, Yuji goes running in headfirst to help him out. Everyone calls him an idiot, but the president says to trust his instincts. He gets hit with a huge explosion, but comes out with minimal damage. Eddie explains the concept of reactive armor. It uses internal explosions to dampen enemy explosions, which I learned from you guys in the comments. I should have read this manga earlier to get the rundown. Along with the wearable armor, Yuji's past life as a boxer shows in his fighting stance and his reaction time. Yuji bobs and weaves through the beam attacks. He goes in and strikes down the Zaku sniper. They think that Yuji could be the one to master the GM striker. There is still one more support Zaku to take care of, but the GM striker has overheated. Commander Kirk comes in and takes out the remaining unit and helps out Yuji. As he helps him up, the commander tells him to go explore the world and give the soldiers of Vancouver base a good reputation. They complete their mission. Yuji meets with the Augusta technician, 2nd Lieutenant Tyra Cicero. He thanks him for saving him, but then immediately throws up in Yuji's face. He apologizes and said he is just nervous. Yuji just got a face full of MRE barf. At least it wasn't pizza night. Jean eats his own words. He was completely wrong about Yuji. Hawk holds up a magazine that says Southeast Asia Forces and says this is where we are going next. The next day, the Vancouver base sees off the Nemesis team as they make their leave. Yuji is now wearing the Nemesis uniform. He wonders where Jean is. Hawk kicks him and tells him to get into the Medea. As the Nemesis team takes off on the Medea, Jean stays behind. And that will do it for this episode. I am really enjoying the art style of this manga. It goes from serious to silly to super chibi and weird. The artist of this manga really lets you see the back of every character's throat. It is so unique and I love it. Sort of getting Juni Ito vibes as well. I also really love the look of the Nemesis uniform. It is a mix of the Kuraba crew jackets and the Titans outfits with a green beret flare, or in this case, red beret. Next time, Yuji gets set up for stealing Eddie's panties, and Azak terrorizes a town while Yuji tries to take action. But that will do it for now, hooligans. If you haven't tried Natto, give it a try. You will most likely regret it. Peace.